present you the engine combustion network. So the agenda, I would like to try to answer these questions for you. Let me make a timer for me. I have it here. Okay. So I will try to tell you what is the engine combustion network, ECN. How ECN has evolved in the recent years to adapt to the fast-changing world of engine combustion. What are the expected contributions on the topics of e-fuel for combustion, which are relevant for this workshop? And basically, maybe if I'm good enough, try to convince you why you should join the ECN effort. So I like ChatGPT, so I asked him, what is the ECN, in order to help me, and I think he did a pretty good job. So the Engine Combustion Network is a collaborative research effort among combustion researchers and institutions worldwide. That's good. ECN focuses on experimental and computational studies related to internal combustion engines, particularly in the area of sprays and combustion processes. That's also correct. Researchers involved in the ECN typically share data, conduct joint experiment, and collaborate on various aspects of engine combustion. So, yes. And the network aims to enhance the understanding of combustion processes in engines, to improve simulation models, and contribute to the development of more efficient and environmentally friendly combustion technologies. So that's all correct, and it's a pretty good summary of what we try to do in the engine combustion network. So really, that slides try to present the whole idea. So it was formed in 2009, the ECN, and the idea is to first start with target conditions that we within the ECN try to share and work on it. So there are two examples here on the right. The diesel spray A, it's a historical target. The first one about diesel. So it's a Bosch injector that was donated. We have different, we have several of the identical ones, well, identicals, and we perform experiments in same conditions. So there are some standardization issues in order to be sure you're doing the same conditions. And we perform different diagnostics. So there's a nice show here. So this slide was done by Sandia. So there's a lot of Sandia diagnostics, but there's a lot of diagnostics available. In this, and all this, so there are measurements and also some simulations. All this is available on the website. So it becomes a database, a reference database. For spray A, there's more than 75 measurements or diagnostics that were performed and contributing from more than 15 institutions. So it's really a big effort. Spray A is a very, very comprehensive database. We also have so different other diesel targets. Spray B is a 3-hole, C and D are bigger nozzles, cavitating or non-cavitating, to study these effects. We also have a gasoline spray G, so it's a gasoline injector. That's the one that Camille has presented just before, and that's at a 6-hole or 8 holes. And there's also a single hole with the same geometry called spray M. That's the one also that Camille has been using in her work. So all the results are submitted to an online archive, so you can find that on the ECN website. But you have fields, so you have geometries, a lot of information about uncertainty of the measurements. When you make quantitative measurements, if you don't speak about your uncertainty, you're just not making a measurement. All this is tailored for CFD simulations. And another important aspect is that we proceed with workshops every 1.5 years to really try to move the community and to compare experiments versus experiments in order to assess uncertainty and standardize our experiments. We compare CFD between CFD and CFD with experiments. And all this is trying to gain some insights about the physical phenomena that we're observing. So we're reaching the 10th workshop. ECN 10 will be in 2025. One workshop every 1.5 years. The impact, it's pretty big. It has established in 2009, but there are like more than, well, this slide is pretty old, so a few years ago it was already 1,400 citations of the ECN data archive. I think more automotive industry, about light and heavy duty, they're using ECN archive to test the CFD method, so it's a pretty robust, and it's kind of became a reference. So how do we see ourselves? We see ourselves as a peloton. So I don't know if you're familiar with cycling, but if you're alone trying to cycle, it's very different than when you're in peloton. So at least 2 or 3 people, you benefit from the split stream. You can go much faster and much farther. So that's the idea. We see us as a peloton. At the top of the peloton, you have the ECN workshop topic leaders. They're the ones that are really pushing the topics. There are 3 organizers, Light Pickett from Zambia, myself from IFP, and Raul Perry from CMT. Basically, we're just organizing, we're benefiting from the split stream, we're behind, but the real work is done by the ECN workshop and the topic leaders. So that's really the idea. I mean, we want to be all together and to go fast and collaborate. So it's actually, when Lyle first discussed it, so that was the idea of Lyle Pickett, and IFP, we were the first one to work with him. Was not obvious that this idea of collaboration would work, because there's some competition in the science community, and but we really found some value in this open collaboration when we share, and that's something we want to defend. So there's a spirit for that. So it's really a forum for open discussion and synthesis of modeling and experimental results. Means that we're not duplicating at workshop. We're not duplicating a conference presentation. It's not a single work. It's always a synthesis of different works. We focus on synthesis, expert review, and to look at future directions together. We want to know what does not work, what is broken, so that's very important. So we call that herring or dirty laundry. We really see and we want to say, okay. And there are some real examples. I mean, when we start with this at IFP, we realized that for 15 years before that, we've been using bad temperature for our vessels because we're a few degrees, well, maybe not a few, like 15, 20 degrees off the target temperature. But we realized that, we correct this, and by working together, we do this. So there's so Light Pickett likes to cite this example from the 2018 TAD talk by astronomer Phil Plait. But I think it's really true. I mean, the secret of scientific discovery is to make mistakes. If you look at the biggest discovery, they're made by mistakes, and then you discover something. And there's a proof that it works. I mean, in terms of, so you're a researcher, what you want is to publish and to be visible, to be cited, and this works. We make regular bibliography studies, so we made the last one was in last year. I made a bibliography study. So I look at the publication of the ECN. I have some criteria, and to measure that. So in terms of number of publications, so there you have the numbers here. So there's the number of ECN publications per year. So it's papers that are relevant for ECN. You can count 180 laboratories doing ECN relevant work. So that's about, since 2010, more than 330 World of Science publications. And there, in terms of citations, so now that's the publication, there are more than 800 laboratories that are citing, using the ECN works. Basically, they are citing the ECN works. So in terms of still production, you see that production is kind of stable. It ramped up, and then since 2016, 17, it's kind of stable because we've achieved the size of a community. There was a peak in 2020 because we made a special issue, but basically that's it. But what's interesting is if you look at the visibility, the citation, you see that it's continuously increasing. Okay, that didn't stop in 2018. It's continuously increasing. 2023 was not over when we made the survey. So it's and that's really a proof that by participating to ECN, so you share, you participate, but then you really get some value because your work is more visible. The global H index of ECN paper has been increasing from 20 to 40 in 2023. And few years later, I also made some comparison of articles that are made within the ECN network. If you do the same kind of work without the ECN that you have with the ECN subject, then you have 40% higher impact factor. So it's really interesting. And you see here the map of colors of ECN publishing countries. It's really worldwide. Of course, India is here, France is here, US and China are pretty big. Okay. What about the evolution? So we've been working with diesel and gasoline injectors for many years, but the context is changing. And at ECN 8, that was in 2022, we really say, okay, we need to adapt to the new world. We're having really difficulty to get funding for diesel, for gasoline, especially in Europe and in the US. So say we need to change. So we need to make a bridge between the old and new worlds because of this the situation of the combustion research. Basically, that was the situation. We were hitting a wall there. So shall we die to stop ECN, or we try to reborn and do something new about it? So we had for the ECN, we had really dedicated discussions, intense discussions, surveys to extend among further than the people that were participating to the workshop in person. And the decision was clear. Basically, we wanted to take new directions, to take the peloton to new heights, because we think really the ECN spirit is efficient and we can support the community. The whole community had to change directions, and we say, okay, ECN can help this community to change directions. That's what we thought. So we also want to continue having fun together. I invite you to participate to ECN workshop. It's really intense and fun. There are some fun activities that are officially, and I put this image, it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. So basically we are trying to reborn after a bad perspective. So what are the new topics? Well, they're really much about issues actually. So at ECN 9 last year, it was the first time that we changed the topics. So after many years of having diesel, gasoline topics, those were the topics at ECN 8. You don't see any diesel or gasoline. It's really completely new topics. So they are like hydrogen injection, methanol, early direction injection, methanol, diesel combustion, and ammonia and injection and combustion. So those are the 4 topics that are all related to e-fuels. There's a 5th topic about battery and safety and thermal runaway. I won't discuss that, but it's also relevant for the community. But you see that we had a lot of these new topics. So it was the first ECN with these new topics. So this was, we expected this rising, it's a ramp up. But still we had significant growth. We've seen a lot of activity, significant growth. You look at the ECN 9 proceedings, you see that there's some activity. So prospect look good for the future. I come back to the why we think ECN is a good place for this e-fuel research, because of this. So we make smaller pelotons, for different e-fuels and stuff, but the thing is still relevant. This idea that we talk about what doesn't work, the hair in the dirty laundry, is really efficient to work, to progress. We really want the idea also to seek to break down barriers for quantitative comparisons between CFD and experiments, and having target conditions really help for that. We think that really make you make a lot of progress. And really we help each other. I mean, we share injectors. If you want to join ECN, you just contact us. We can share injectors when we have them. So it's an ongoing process. We share the geometry. We have detailed geometry. We have grids, knowledge about the uncertainty. We have also tools. Sometimes if you want to, after treatment, we share the algorithms. So we share everything very open. If you're not succeeding in something, then we'll try to help you. So that's the spirit. And really, we learn all, when you participate with ECN, you really learn hidden bias that are inherent to your own experiments or code. And that makes us tie together. We are able to say, okay, I'm not doing something perfect, but this is what I have, and it's really another way to exchange. So some results, and we have fun, and really it's when we know it's important that we know each other and have fun. I have some examples. It's pretty rapid. Okay, so hydrogen injection. There were already some experimental numerical contributions from 9 institutions. We didn't have a common target, a common injector yet, so it's kind of dispersed. But there were already some experimental studies of injection characteristics. You see the effect of shocks. You have Raman scattering from KAUST, LIF from IFP. Try to compare them. You see some CFD. You see the CFD with shocks. We start to compare numerical simulations, but we didn't have common experimental hardware, and that was really a key. Now we have defined a common hardware. It's a Bosch HEEV4 injector that is available for the database. We still need to build the target conditions, but that's an ongoing process, so it's really going on. Ammonia. So there were 2 subsections, one for gasoline-like ammonia spray and one for diesel-like. Gasoline-like, I think, is the most relevant. There were contributions from 7 institutions, but only 1 experimental from Orléans. So Orléans was the center of this, and all other was numerical simulations. I was focusing on spray G and single-hole spray M, so you had a good glance of what we did on the experimental side. And really, we highlighted the importance of flash boiling phenomena. It's really a clear path for future studies, so we're going to focus on that. The second topic is more like diesel-like. So basically, I would say the conclusion is that it's a very challenging situation for ignition because you need really high temperature. So we think it's more relevant for dual fuel configuration. It's not really clear how we're going to address that within the ACM. So contributors for this, just a rapid show, was that's the experiments from Orléans. I wanted to show it again, but we've seen just after before, so it's not necessary to. And oops, too fast. This is the numerical contribution. So there are really various. We had some contribution on single hole to compare directly with Orléans experiments, and multi-hole different. Institution, UMass, Poligny, University of Aquila, Oviedo, and all. We try to compare side by side. If you want some details, you go to the ECN proceedings. So pretty much some activity there. The conclusion for this is that really future directions for ECN is flash boiling investigation on single hole spray M. That's really one of the main directions that we aim for. Methanol and OME, so there have been quite a lot of effort there, numerical, a lot of contributions. It's a little bit more in line with previous ECN effort. We're using the same injectors, the fuel are not changing so much, so we're continuing the effort basically with the fuels that are slightly different. We're looking at different conditions, early injection, late injection, high pressure spray flames. 4 experimental contributions for different labs, 6 numerical contributions. It's really built on the ECN hardware. So we look at analysis of hardware dispersion, effect of fuel properties on spray collapse. That's really still spray targets. Spray collapse is something that is completely understood. Effect of preferential evaporation. You can see here some results on the left. Some optical diagnostic that you can distinguish between high volatility and low volatility components using dual cursor LIF, some numerical simulations. So yeah, some future directions. So the idea is to continue the track, to continue working on the spray collapse modeling that is still required, and expand investigation to diesel-like high injection pressure conditions. Well, that's it. I think I'm close to finishing now. Just let me conclude, please. So I think I tried to explain you that ECN has really become a reference in the domain. Okay, the ECN peloton has turned the corner to the road to energy transition, to e-fuels. And we're really determined to play a role in the search for the understanding to accelerate the use of e-fuels in the combustion systems. And really, we really invite all volunteers. It's not easy, you need to make some efforts, but when you're ready, let's just go. And I came all the way to India to try to convince you, so I hope I'm being convincing now. That's my father-in-law that is making some tricks on my photograph, so this one is a little bit funny, I wanted to share it with you. And I'm done with my presentations.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for introducing ECM. For us in India, ECM was like a holy grail which was there and we wanted to be part of it. But didn't know how to do it. Now that you are a part of it. I think you have to facilitate all of us, all of our institutions getting into ECM.
Yeah.
So we would really like to partner. I mean, this I can say at least on behalf of all the IITs and NITs that we want to be a part of the ECM. There's a lot of combustion research going on in India. And the second thing I would like to propose is that I think this ECM workshop that you are planning to hold, or you hold every year, I think you can plan to hold one of that in India, because that will be a big promotion event for ECM in India. That way, we will be able to bring all the important combustion researchers. And in fact, what we can do is possibly, if you're interested, it can be done under one such workshop between India and France. And then we can ask other colleagues to join. So even in India and France, if they can pay for their travel, they can participate, just like any other conference. So I think I will talk to you separately about it.
Yeah.
And let's all do it together.
Yeah, I'm encouraging that a lot. I mean, it's really open. We like to have newcomers. It's always really nice, and you guys are working on this subject. For the next ECN, yeah, we're always looking for a nice place to go, and I think one of the ECN, I think ECN 4, we went to Japan to try to attract Japan people, but I think it would be really nice to come to India. So we have to discuss that.
Yeah, my colleague here from Nagpur, he just offered that he can have a workshop in a tiger reserves. So you can literally have breakfast with tigers.
We like that. The idea, it's really nice. So.
Indo-French workshop or maybe ECN workshop under Indo-French umbrella could be done. Or, I could find it other interesting places also.
Yeah, let's discuss that. Very good.
So this one question that one of the theme was on battery cooling. So how was it related?
So actually,
you did not go on detail about.
Yeah, because it's not the focus of this workshop here, but it's a thermal runaway.
Yes, thermal runaway.
So in the thermal runaway, you have one cell which is experiencing thermal runaway, and it results in venting. Some gas and some combustion, and so then you have fluid mechanics, reactive thermal fluid mechanics, and it's really important. Because thermal runaway, one cell, it's okay, basically, but the problem is that when it's propagating to the other cells, and then the whole pack is under thermal runaway. And the venting and the combustion that is linked with that is a very big factor for this expansion of thermal runaway. So, and there we have things to do because we know about fluid mechanics, about reaction and stuff like that. So and optical diagnostics are useful. So it's really it's an important phenomena, thermal runaway, because it's going to be a big issue. And so we can participate to that.
But the idea is that to prevent it, so that you have the proper cooling and it doesn't happen. So that will not come here.
Yeah, it's exactly what we decided. The first time I heard about this, I said, but the idea is to prevent it. Yeah, but you cannot prevent it. You cannot prevent because of you imagine, you always have one outliers in your production lines, and this one may, but if you are able to have one cell start, but the rest is not starting, then you're more secure. So, and there's also a question of time. There are some regulations with the start. How much time do you have to get out of your car? So the thing is that the industry cannot prevent it at the moment, and they really need to know how it processes and how they can handle it. So it's really a big need for the industry.
No, the idea is that they put some spray there, so as soon as you have the thermal runaway problem is outside, it happens.
I don't know.
then
I don't know the
spray comes
solution.
and
That might be a solution, but yeah. But
Maybe you can join the network to study that.
Yeah, that's what people are trying.
Thank you. One more question, no, just to keep in time.
So basically, when I was in France, I did some work in for ECN spray condition, and right now, since last 1 year, I joined IIT Patna. So basically, I want to establish a high pressure vessel system, and I basically have some design for that I will discuss in tomorrow's lecture. But if I have some questions, how can I? Basically, I don't found much papers regarding this, or I'm not searching in proper way, I guess. But yeah, I have
direct contact, email.
Yeah, sure.
Email us, then
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Then yeah, we have, like at the start of ECN there were some new labs coming, and I went to 2 or 3 labs, at least in Europe. Lyle was taking care of USA.
Initially we don't have expertise to build those.
Within ECN we help. Sometimes I've helped them. That's really this. Sometimes for one workshop, we were about to do a pretty advanced OH and formaldehyde leaf for diesel, and we could make these measurements. And there was a lab in Eindhoven. They were trying to do it, but they couldn't do it. Okay, what do you do? Usually in science you say, okay, I'm the first, I'm happy. But for ECN we said, no, we need to do this together. So we made meetings and we explained them how to do it. We sent them materials so that they could do it, and then we made a paper together. So that's the spirit, so it's. So yeah.
So till now I started myself and little bit face issues that how I can choose.
Share with us, direct contact.
Yeah,
not only read the paper, but contact the people.
Yeah.
And then we direct you to the.
Sure. So tomorrow, in my presentation, I will show some what
I can see.
designed, and after that.
And also, we have also regular meetings every month. So if you need, you can contact me if you want to be in the ECN list. Okay.
Yeah.
We can put you in the ECN list, and you get all the news. Every month we make a web meeting where everybody is open to present ECN related work.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be synthesis. You can come and present and say, you can really do an open, so I'm trying to do this and I don't know, I have these problems. That's completely okay.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's also one thing they can do, but at least contact us, and it's easy. We're only 3 people, and we manage that. It's very voluntary and people are willing to share. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for the talk and the proposal, Gilles.
Long live India and France friendship.